Hello family, I'm Kevin Cosmo, father of 4, ultra-endurance athlete, and non-traditional student doctor studying at Western University. In my evenings, I make videos and write articles about medicine, ethics, and general healthy living. Today's video topic is the first in a new series on this new channel, and I gotta start with the overarching concept of what is health. I'm gonna look at it from how we approach health. 3 different ways that we can approach health. That's what I'm going to lay out here for you. Let's get right into it. The first way you can approach health, first vantage point for seeing the life system, is the allopathic model. And to be short, their model states what you do in health is very different from what you do in sickness. For instance, drugs are bad for you when you're healthy, but they're good for you when you're sick. Chemotherapy, radiation is bad for a healthy organism, but it'll be good for a sick organism. Honestly, this does not jive with me. I'm sometimes missing how they make the connection points of how I could bring someone who's in a lower state of health into a higher state of health by introducing another known toxin or a poison. Well, we call them drugs, pharmaceutical drugs. So it's a confusing concept on many levels, which is why Western medicine has sometimes been maligned for simply addressing symptoms. They simply address the symptoms as opposed to addressing the cause or creating health. Which brings us to our second form of addressing health, which would be the alternative style of healthcare. And in the alternative model, we still apply the main concept that is applied in allopathic medicine, which is what we do in health is not what we do necessarily in sickness. Say, for example, we have a headache. Instead of going the allopathic route and taking a prescription drug to mitigate the symptoms, we could go the alternative route and maybe get some light therapy or maybe get some acupuncture. But still, what we're missing out here is what'll culminate in the third perspective, which is we didn't have a headache due to a shortage of needles in the body, or a headache due to a shortage of ibuprofen, or a headache due to a shortage of color therapy. I would suggest that our headache is due to our inability, or perhaps our unwillingness, to abide by the laws of health. And what I mean by that leads nicely into our third view of health, which is the health model. And in this model, what's good for us in health is good for us in sickness. And what's not good for us in sickness isn't good for us in health as well. Essentially, there are laws, there are substances, we call it nutrition, forces, influences, conditions, an environmental situation that is necessary for us to bring about health. If I participate in things that are disease-causing, well, then I'm going to head down that path. Essentially, what we can do to achieve the highest level of health is to stack as many cards in our favor as possible and then go through life living as best we can, knowing that we're doing the best that we can. And there's an interesting point to note here, is that the healthier we get, the more sensitive we get as well, which means that the more responsive we may get, which leads us to an interesting confusion point about disease and health, which I will further elucidate on in further videos. But the main point here is that, well, I guess I can demonstrate it by an example. If I have healthy lungs and I walk into a smoky bar, what happens to me? I immediately begin a coughing fit. Is that a sign that my body is unhealthy? Did I catch something? No, it's a sign that my body is responding to its environment and doing its best to keep this organism in the best condition it can. Now, those who have lowered their level of homeostasis and who no longer produce a quick response to try to drive it back up to a high level of homeostasis, i.e. the cigarette smoker in that bar, they don't show a response. Are they healthier? No, we certainly know that they're not healthier, but they've lowered their level of vigor of homeostasis to such a level that their body no longer responds with what we might call a disease, or could alternatively be viewed as a healing crisis. So the body is responding to its environment, it's doing the best it can, and in order to allow it to do the best we can, we have to give it the best inputs that we can possibly do, whether it be mind, or food, or activity. We need to provide the substances, forces, influences, and conditions of health, the fantastic intelligence and life force within. It'll do all the rest. And so to do that, we need good information, good examples. I hope to do that with this channel, providing you a bunch of information, a bunch of good examples through my own healthy living and interviews with others to allow us to live to the highest level of health we can. Why? Because health is what allows us to enjoy the fantastic thing that is life. You want to enjoy it, you got to have your health to do so. I'm glad I have mine. I hope to help you have yours. Till the next video, live joyously, family. Live fantastically full of energy.